Good afternoon. This is Mr. Not Advice. It is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2026. As always, this is for entertainment and education purposes only. End of the day update. Okay, so number of things to go over today. Obviously, the tech sector was off, but if you look, there were a lot more pockets of green on the heat map at the close of the day than there are red. Big ones, asset managers, obviously computer hardware, semis, hyperscalers, all off today. Specialty industrial, farm heavy equipment, builders, all that was off today. Rotation into safety names such as healthcare and let's see, energy and utilities. It started in Korea, SK Hynix. I'll go over that very briefly. But we also have the end of quarter automatic rebalancing now going on. So selling is going on now. We won't get the buying until July 1st. So that's also a big deal. We are in negative gamma territory now, not only synthetically, as I explained yesterday, via these ultra ETFs, but also in dealer net positioning. So dips will extend lower and rallies will extend higher. But it's the mechanical selling that's really very difficult to fight. And we saw that in the market today. The Nasdaq absolutely got blasted today, but I think a good part of that was, well, almost all of it was triggered by South Korea, but the market also was already looking to rebalance and sell those stocks anyway. This is a chart of the SK Hynix price chart. It lost 15%, 16%, I think, yesterday. They did shut the market down in Korea because the market had dropped 10%. This is ugly because there's no bounce. It literally closed on its low tick of the day. That means to me there's probably more selling coming, but we'll have to see. I don't track the Korean market. This is the US markets here. Um, Today, the green here is obviously the NASDAQ market. That did much worse. There was in terms of Korea, this is what really moved the market. Um, there was a research note discussing the potential for memory price weakness next year. The big one was the Korean press was reporting that SK Hynix was considering moderating its HBM4 ramp. So that's where the headline came across that they were going to slow production. They weren't going to slow production to the extent that they're not going to produce. They were going to just move it to where the margins now exceed HBM by 15%, and DRAM's a commodity. So that also put pressure, just a whole host of things coming out of Korea. But at the end of the day, the market was looking for a reason to sell off, I believe. Oddly, though, the S&P 493 still underperformed slightly the Mag 7 today, oddly enough. It, defensive names expect to get a little bit more of a bounce than that. Okay, so looking at big down days in Korea, I thought this was interesting because this is how quick they've been. February 2026 was one day, and 3 and 4. I mean, how long is this one going to last? I don't know. We're on the third day of it, and then looking at how long it's on average took to recover until you get your next rally. I'm watching a particular level on EWI, as I've shared before, because that's where the automatic selling will come in. Yeah, US dollar, I think it was up for its seventh, eighth, who knows? It's been on quite a rip. Now taking out the end of March highs, which is the strongest it's been since Thanksgiving of 2025. But that's what pushed precious metals down. Silver was slammed down over 5%. Stronger dollar, metals go down. Also, buybacks are not going to help us because we've got what 69%, 64% of companies now in the quiet period before earnings. So they're not going to step in and mechanically help. Looking at AI, this is the big deal. These are looking at the top 1%, 10, and the median spend. What's keeping these AI hyperscalers in business is this top 1%. If we start seeing meaningful cutbacks, that is right now they're literally their strongest source of revenue. And of course, they're overcharging. But if we see that continue to come down, or there's because either competition drives it down, and or companies just decide we're going to use an open system, or we're going to use Chinese models, it's going to drive it down even more. This is where the things could get pretty challenging for AI, where they'd really have to go in and probably see if they can tap the debt markets further. But there is real risk since they turn negative cash flow, free cash flow next year, and they're not projected to turn positive free cash flow until 2030. That's a long time. So we got to find a way to stay in business, continue to expand because it's not going to come out of free cash flow. Oh, by the way, looking at oil futures, it closed below the 200-day moving average today, so I am looking to put a short on there. Looking today specifically at what happened in the market, oddly enough, there was quite a bit of fading going on by zero DTE. They were buyers of puts on the way down. Interesting. Looking forward from a mechanical basis, so this was just today's projected levered ETF rebalance, where levered ETFs had to sell. All these things getting sold, but semis were huge. It's automatic selling. And so I don't think we're done. I think it might be choppy, but I'm getting ready for July 1st when this will all revert. Another way to look at this also is with each percent down move in the market, how much more selling will need to occur. This is what happens in negative gamma, right? Further you go, the worse it gets. So taking a look at the sheer dollar amounts here that are getting sold to the downside as the market, if the market were to continue to move down, it gets very at 2% minus 74 billion is pretty substantial, and it pretty much dwarfs almost all the buying that would have to occur. Goldman's desk said today was a 4 out of 10 in terms of activity levels, with a skew of 8% better to sell. Long onlys were 18% better for sale. By the way, they started the session long onlys with 50% better to sale. Selling in the most traded stocks as well as consumer. Hedge funds were selling all day with 18% sell skew. They weren't buying anything. And both long onlys and hedge funds had $1 billion of notional sell skews today. The only areas that did really good today, again, were staples, REITs, healthcare, and utilities. I have a couple trades that I'm going to look at for tomorrow. One of them being the XLE. It has put in what I call a low close doji at support at -2 SD. So I'm putting those in my favor. All right. There's my low close doji. Minimum return or the price movement up to the 5670 level, which will give me a scale. That's the mean. So I am looking to get long that. I got to see what other trades, but oh, and perhaps short oil. I have to look at the chart again, and maybe long Oscar also. Let's see what Oscar finished up at. Yep. I just need to clear this at a high of 29.81 or 29.83. So good to go on that on Oscar too. Hope you all had a great day. Today's action doesn't really worry me. PCT was strong today, by the way. EOSC was strong until it wasn't halfway through the day, and then it really sort of sold off. None of this worries me or concerns me. This is not organic trading, meaning these are actual investors buying and selling it. This is a lot of it has to do with this index rebalancing that goes on end of the month and end of the quarter. I mean, we're going to probably continue to see the overall market have a sideways to down bias until at least a week from now. Oh, and I think Bitcoin, you tell me. The only thing I can get hosed on is time. So what I need is another downdraft so I can roll them. And mine are only out to July, I believe. I'll have to check to see if they're to August or not. VIX was up today. I saw some people freaking out about it. It wasn't even at 20. I fully suspect there'll be a fall through to tomorrow, at least at the open, but it really depends on how Korea opens. We never got a chance to get into or even attempt to get into TE today, and we certainly don't have a setup for that tomorrow. Oh, and I've been want to get long the Russell, but again, here's the daily. Now we got to wait. We got to wait for that to be taken out. So It's all good. Maybe it'll happen July 1st, which would be about perfect. All right. Have a good evening, and I'll see you in the room tomorrow.
I'm running to the city. I got the new word in my book.
They ain't got no muscle, no hustle, no backbone. I stand alone, not tripping. Just saying, I'm different.